Next cojones goes to a man who's dear to my heart for standing up for stand-up. When dozens of Netflix employees walked out over Dave Chappelle's reckless decision to perform comedy on his comedy special, CEO Ted Sarandos could have pulled the special. Instead, he reminded his Netflix employees that comedy exists to push boundaries and told them if you'd find it hard to support our content breadth, Netflix may not be the best place for you. So, for making the phrase, "don't let the door hit you in the ass," never sound better, this is for you, Ted.
Maher hasn't slowed down in calling out what he sees as Hollywood's obsession with performative activism. Recently, he criticized a group of celebrities for pushing political messaging without acknowledging how disconnected they can be from everyday life. In typical Maher fashion, he broke down their claims, questioned the sincerity behind the statements, and highlighted what he views as contradictions in their public image. There's a lot here, so let's get into it.
There's no getting around the fact that what was on the mind of the liberals that night in Brentwood, or wherever we may have been, was that the most powerful witch hunters now were coming from Twitter, the Ivy League, and the progressive left. J.K. Rowling used to be a villain to the right because she wrote books about witchcraft. Now she's a villain to the left because she has the crazy belief that there's more to being a woman than pronouns and lipstick.
He opened the show by pointing out what he considers a major irony on the progressive left. Public figures are celebrated as long as they stick to the approved script. But once they express an unpopular opinion, support evaporates quickly. He mentioned examples like J.K. Rowling, Elon Musk, Joe Rogan, and even himself as people who were once praised but faced backlash after voicing ideas outside the mainstream. According to Maher, the loyalty lasts only as long as everyone agrees.
So that was the point of the evening. How do we take a stand against cancel culture? And I suggested, since we were mostly all in show business, that we start an award show to honor the brave people who have fought back. Well, I got to tell you, the idea was met with great enthusiasm by everyone. And in short order, different people were suggesting the ways that their varied talents could be put to use. And then, of course, being Hollywood, nothing happened. But it's still a good idea, so I'm going to do it right here, right now. And not only that, we're going to do it every...
Maher's bigger point is that he wants to recognize the entertainers who don't immediately retreat when criticism hits. He admires the people who didn't erase old statements, issue corporate-style apologies, or walk back harmless opinions for the sake of approval. Instead, they stood by what they said and defended their right to speak freely. In his view, that type of consistency deserves recognition, especially in an industry that often rewards conformity.
First award goes to the president of my alma mater, Cornell University, Martha Pollack. This month, students there demanded trigger warnings before all the lectures in case any of the adult subjects you specifically went to college to learn about came up. And Martha said, "Yeah, no, we're not doing that." She didn't cave in or hire a new dean of sensitivity. She just said, "No, college is for introducing you to new ideas, not for kissing your and making you feel wonderful and always."
He also highlighted leaders in education who, in his opinion, have shown the same kind of resolve. Maher pointed to Martha Pollack as someone who remained committed to academic integrity even when universities were becoming increasingly polarized. He argued that higher education spent years drifting toward ideological rigidity, and credited Pollack for resisting that shift. To him, this is the kind of leadership that should be acknowledged.
Taking a brunch with your parents. I'm just amazed at how this generation can simultaneously be too sensitive for anything distasteful and somehow also so into eating. So, Cornell, I present you with these balls. I sure could have used them when I was...
Maher then shifted to the younger generation, noting what he sees as a contradiction. Many young people today embrace bold or unconventional lifestyles, yet also react strongly to speech they find offensive. He argued that it's unusual to be so open to personal expression while being highly sensitive to differing opinions. To him, this tension reflects a broader cultural inconsistency.
Next award goes to the place where many Cornell grads will be working next year, Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's, who for years have been selling a line of ethnically themed products, trading on the name Joe. For example, they have Trader Jose's beer. So, of course, one teenager on Twitter heard the word Jose and said it was racist, and then there was a petition.
He recalled the time Trader Joe's faced online backlash over product names some critics found inappropriate. Many expected the company to issue a quick apology and rebrand. Instead, Trader Joe's reviewed the situation and chose not to make major changes. They stuck to their decision and avoided a public relations spiral. According to Ma, this was a rare example of a company staying calm and handling controversy without panic.
A life and a sense of humor, and released this statement. We disagree that any of these labels are racist, and we do not make decisions based on petitions. You see how easy it is? So to the home of the 19-cent banana, here, have some nuts.
Ma praised Trader Joe's for refusing to react out of fear. He said their response showed that a wave of online criticism isn't always as powerful as it seems. In his view, their decision proved that companies can maintain their identity and still thrive, even when facing vocal criticism. It was, in his eyes, a reminder that calm leadership often outperforms reactive decision-making.
Next cojones goes to a man who's dear to my heart for standing up for stand-up. When dozens of Netflix employees walked out over Dave Chappelle's reckless decision to perform comedy on his comedy special. Reminded his Netflix employees that comedy exists to push boundaries, and told them if you'd find it hard to support our content breadth, Netflix may not be the best place for you. So, for making the phrase, "Don't let the door hit you in the ass," never sound better, this is for you, Tim.
He went on to talk about the pressure comedians face today. Comedy has always pushed boundaries, but many comedians have still found themselves at the center of online controversy. Ma mentioned names like Dave Chappelle, Kevin Hart, Joe Rogan, and Rob Schneider as examples of performers who sparked debates over jokes or conversations. He argued that comedy's purpose is to challenge ideas, not to follow strict rules, and that the art form struggles when audiences expect absolute safety.
When movie lovers get together these days, one phrase that comes up a lot and always makes me sad is, "Yeah, you couldn't make that one today." Top of that list is the great Tropic Thunder, which the scolds have been after for years. But in February, Ben Stiller tweeted, "I make no apologies for Tropic Thunder. It's always been a controversial movie since when we opened, proud of it and the work everyone did on it." See, people, it's not that hard. He said it, and he still got a commercial. And the lesson is, if you stand up to the mob for just a day or two, their shallow, impatient, immature, smartphone-driven, gerbil minds will forget about it and go on to the next nothing burger, and you still will have your cojones.
Ma reminded actors and entertainers that criticism from the internet usually passes quickly. He said many celebrities worry that backlash will ruin their careers, but in most cases it lasts only a short time. His view is that fear of negative comments can silence people more effectively than any real consequences. He encouraged entertainers to stop apologizing for reasonable opinions and to speak honestly rather than defensively.
Cyrus once said, "I am moving if Trump is my president. I don't say things I don't mean." Here she is looking miserable, having to endure America at the Grammys last Sunday. I guess she flew back from Tajikistan.
He also revisited the trend of celebrities announcing they would leave the country if certain political outcomes occurred. Ma pointed out that despite those dramatic statements, none of them actually followed through. He saw this as an example of exaggerated political theater that doesn't match real actions. To him, it showed the gap between symbolic gestures and genuine commitment.
2016, Eddie Griffin said, if Trump wins, I'm moving to Africa. Apparently very slowly, because in Trump's 4 years, he only got as far as Van Nuys. George Lopez once said that if Trump won, he won't have to worry about immigration. We'll all go back. George Lopez, still here.
Ma closed by saying that Hollywood shouldn't be the first place people turn to for serious guidance. He believes many entertainers are more concerned with public approval than with taking firm positions. In his view, meaningful change comes from people and institutions willing to stand by their principles even under pressure. He argued that cancel culture only works when individuals surrender to it, and that examples like Trader Joe's, outspoken comedians, and leaders in education show that pushback can be effective. He ended with a call for people to stay confident in their views and not let online outrage dictate their beliefs.